Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Richmond Raceway for the second race of the chase for the Cup Series Championship. We're here for the PayPal 400, 120 laps, 15 longer than the spring race here. Sure to be exciting nonetheless. Yesterday, Matthew Eaves took home the victory in the truck race. Today, Anderson Reed starts on pole. Brandon Morris alongside him. But the king of Richmond, Jay Jefferson, rolls off in third. He was not in the truck race, but the 48 went to victory lane anyway. TSR has been dominant at Richmond for 7 years. Will it change this year in the Cup race? Jefferson won a race here last season. We'll see if he can do it again and get another victory at Richmond. Matty Porta rolls off fourth. In fifth, Irving Allison, Sebastian Cucalon sixth, and Carter Friesen is in seventh. That rounds out a 7 straight of the chase contenders. You also have in ninth being Peter Onjak with Carson Bowers 8th. Ryan Butcher, give a shout out to Butcher for TSR. He rolls off in 10th there in that number 88 for TSR. We'll see what he can do in this race as well. Roger Ray rolling off in 12th. That's two drivers who came into Richmond earlier this season in subpar equipment. Bit of a catch-up has came for him, so we'll see if they can perform today. Colton Lane, a chase contender, rolls off 11th. Zachary DeLello, 14th. Austin Johnson, a shout-out in 15th. And Eli Bright, his final Cup start at Richmond, almost won the truck race. Let's see if he can do it again. But Dusty Neal, your Most Sport winner, rolls off in 16th. And the runner-up at Most Sport, I think it was, Larry Hagan, rolls off 17th. Tip Foster, another chase contender, in 18th. And as you climb your way back through the field, there is yesterday's winner, Matthew Eaves. He's going to have to climb from 24th to try to win and sweep the Richmond weekend. Cody Goforth, though, is your last chase contender, and he starts this race 28th. It's going to be a massive climb for the 17. He already had a bad run at Most Sport that puts him 39 points behind Sebastian Cucalon. It is going to be a big hole to climb out of for that 17 team. Rest of the field cycles on through. Got a couple cars at the back. We're going to go ahead and get ready for these 120 laps ahead of us. Anderson Reed, Brandon Morris on the front row for Richmond. We'll go ahead down trackside for the means to fire the engines here at the Richmond Raceway.
Drivers, start your engines!
Pepsi and the NSDCA have teamed up this season to bring you the Pepsi Pole Award for the Fast Qualifier in all 26 Sundrop Cup Series races this season. Today it's Anderson Reed, second pole of the year for Reed, the third driver only to have repeat poles this season. Race 20 and the second race of the chase is going to be very important for these guys, especially Anderson Reed, to catch up to the points leader in Sebastian Cucalon. Can Anderson Reed win this race, or will the chase be blown wide open here at the PayPal 400? With that, the engines are fired. We're rolling off for these 120 laps here at the PayPal 400 at Richmond. The front row, the front top 10 really, has 8 chasers in it. There are still 28 drivers left in this field, not fighting for a championship, instead fighting for a good finish, for a race win. We'll see if anyone can repeat what Dusty Neal did at Most Sport last week by spoiling the party for the chase contenders. Carson Bowers, Ryan Butcher in the top 10. You also got Roger Ray, Eli Bright, Austin Johnson, Dusty Neal inside the top 16, so we have some fast guys there. Now, yesterday in the truck race, the 48 went to victory lane, starting 29th. Jay Jefferson today starts in third for the 48, but our 29th place driver today, Joseph Strigley. We'll see if the magic can happen and we can get 2 29th place starters in victory lane. Anderson Reed and Brandon Morris going to lead us down. It's 120 laps of action at Richmond. Green flags in the air. The second race of the chase is underway. Already you see some 3-wide action back there. Hagan stuck in the middle. Jay Jefferson did not get a good start to this one. He already falls back to the 4th position, possibly 5th if Cucalon gets by him on the outside. We're going back to this 3-wide situation back here with Tib Foster, who does not want to be there, as well Larry Hagan and DJ Curtis. Stephen Wallace Jr. right there as well, as they are real close with Larry. Someone needs to back out of here before too long, or else something's going to happen. And there goes SWJ just sneaking by, and now Hagan will tuck 2 wide, so now it looks like we calm down just a little bit in this race. Still 2x2 a long ways through this race. Long ways through this field, but up in front, it's all Anderson Reed now. Clear out into the race lead. Morris clear into second, Porta third, Jay Jefferson fourth, Cucalon fifth, Irving Allison 6th, Bowers 7th, Ryan Butcher 8th, Onjak 9th, Carter Friesen rounding out your top 10, as that is the first battle on track between two Chase contenders. Carter Friesen enters this, had a great run at Mosport that put him up 6 positions in the Chase standings from the 12th seed and final wildcard spot into a chance at a championship. So he only sits 31 back entering this race, but it is behind the 19, who's still a long ways ahead of him. Looking even further back, there's Foster and DeLello mid-pack. There is... That's not, Alex Beniaco's not in the chase, just has a yellow spoiler. There is your final chase contender, Cody Goforth. So he's the furthest back starting chase contender in this race. And he started 28th, just one position above what Eve started in yesterday's race. So there's a possibility we can see this 17 in victory lane today. We'll just have to see how that goes. And there is Eves looking for a sweep for the weekend. One thing you'll notice about Richmond, if we'll take a look here on a quick flyby down this back straightaway, up front you get single filed out real early. You see how nice and calm it is up front, nice and spread out, and as soon as you hit about 10th on back, it is just a constant stream of cars, constant traffic, until you can get these faster guys clear of the slower ones in front. Jay Jefferson looking for a move on Porta there, not going to happen. Cucalon back there in 5th. Irving Allison clear into 6th. Bowers up in 7th. Butcher, Onjak, Friesen your top 10. Colton Lane's got himself into 11th as Murray and Bright fight for that 12th position now. And Foster in the 40. Starting to bring that X-side batteries dodge for Anjado back into the fight, trying to pick up some spots there, points there. He's 31 back as well from points leader Sebastian Cucalon, as Onjak's now going to get by Butcher. Onjak and Moyers, so the two that Cucalon has to worry about the most right now. They're the closest ones. Colton Lane as well, only 21 back. It's a bigger gap back to Foster and Friesen. Drivers that need good runs, though, are both up inside this top 5. Matty Porta 3rd, Irving Allison 6th. They are 12th and 11th, respectively. Porta entered this race 52 points behind Cucalon. That is basically a race right there, and that'd have to be a Porta win with max points and Cucalon not starting the race. So Porta's already a race behind. He needs big moves today, or at least to start clawing back some points now, because if not, he's going to be eliminated from this chase hunt early. And Irving Allison's going to get by Cucalon there. He also had a crash early on, actually on lap 1 of Mosport. It put him far behind the 8 ball. He's 49 back from Cucalon, going to pick up 2 points right there for being a spot ahead of him as they run right now. Anderson Reed, though, is another contender in the chase, 8th in the standings entering this one. He's looking for a good day today if he can win from the pole, but he has a big contender behind him. BGM has won on 4 tracks that are smaller than a mile this season. Morris, of course, has 4 wins. I forget if the 2 other ones were on short tracks, but I know he won Nashville and Steelback in the 55. You also have Cody Goforth, who won Memphis, and you have Irving Allison, who won I-69, which is just a mile in length, races like a short track. So BGM is sure going to have some pace here, as Irving has now gotten his way past Jay Jefferson. And here comes Bowers now looking for a move on Cucalon. So Anjado starting to work their way all underneath Cucalon as they come off the corner. Here comes Onjak now, and that's going to gain Onjak some points back on the 19 if he can complete the pass with Carson Bowers in front of him. Andrade working well together so far in this race. Those two have gained their way to the top. As well, you got Tim Foster back there just outside the top 10 in that 40 trying to hang on. Eli Bright's dropped back a lot in that Wrangler 8, but Cody Goforth starting to bring himself towards the front. He's up to 20th from 28th, and Joseph Strigley's up to 21st from 29th. So, hey, that prediction early on could be a good thing for Strigley. He's moving up through the field very rapidly. Morris is all over the back of Reed, though. It's hard to pass at Richmond once you start getting spread out. You're going to probably have to hope on some lap traffic, some mistakes from the guys in front of you. But Irving Allison's been tearing up through. He got by Cucalon and Jefferson. Now Jay's back on him, right on the back bumper, that's 16, pressuring him for all he's got. Battle for 4th starting to heat up there as Onjak Cucalon just a little further behind. So Jay also in the championship fight. He's 9th in points, 42 back entering this one. So pretty much what you're looking at is all these guys want to finish ahead of the 19 because the 19 has a pretty commanding gap already on the field. But we'll see how that goes as this race progresses. Foster starting to pick up on Friesen. These two enter this race tied, so they're pretty much fighting amongst each other for that position in points. Cody Goforth picked up a couple more spots up to 17th. Bright continues his fall down the order in the 8 car. Heartbreaking there. And there's Zachary DeLello, who started this race in the 57 14th. He's back to 25th. You see some of the other guys fighting at the back all the way through. Still all 40 cars fairly clean as we continue on here at Richmond. Irving has been passed back by Jefferson. That's bringing the Angiato duo into this. Irving, though, going to get a bit of a run down this front straightaway right up to the back of the 48. He's going to look back to the inside. Not going to happen there, though. Jay's going to send it into the corner. Irving took it much more calmly as Bowers has been passed by Onjak. So that 44 car, the goof-off Menards 44, a beautiful night scheme for it. A bit of a black with the yellow accents on the car. Only ran it 3 races this season, mostly the night races. But he's making a move on Irving now, just trying to pick anything he can up on Cucalon. Entered this one 19 points behind his regular season rival in Sebastian Cucalon. Of course, remember, Onjak and Cucalon entered Most Sport tied for that points lead. Now they are fighting for these spots. Anderson Reed's pulling away in that 3 car over Morris, Porta, Jefferson, and Irving Allison. We're going to go ahead and take a very quick commercial break early on. 20 of 120 complete, 100 to go at Richmond. PayPal 400 will come right back to you right after this. Back live here at Richmond, 25 of 120 here. One thing to point out under the commercial break, well, that's happening too. Brady Burkhart looks like he might have some rear end damage, but the car is blowing up. Engine failure on that. DJ Curtis also had an engine failure in the 5 for Monster Motorsports. So that's 2 engines now. 4 teammates of the championship drivers, the chase drivers, now going out. Burkhart, of course, a teammate to Cucalon, and Curtis, all of his teammates are in the chase except him. All the Chevys that are in the chase, Monster Motorsports guys. But as we saw, Anderson Reed starting to catch the back of the pack. Morris and Porta now, as Porta's starting to bring that 20 up onto the back of that 55. Onjak's cleared to 4th, Jefferson 5th, Bowers 6th, Lane 7th. Cucalon has fallen back to the 8th position, so is Irving to 9th, but Cody Goforth 28th to 12th in the first 27 laps. That 17 car is on fire right now, working his way through the pack. Now we got a 3-car battle for 8th, 9th, and 10th. Irving Foster's going to go for it. Tried to go for it. Irving went a little too early. It's going to cost him some exit speed there between those two. We'll see if Tibb can make any maneuver around that in that 40 car. But now with lap traffic up front, that could cost Anderson Reed big time. We saw this in the South Boston race, the Mountain Dew Custom Series. Lap traffic was a major factor, kind of cost Stephen Wallace Jr. just a little bit there in the number 91 car, but he got back around it. So we'll see how the lap traffic does here as these leaders are going to catch it. But Reed is starting to make short work of it past the 0, 87, and 62. And look at Aiden Smith going to take some advantage of that as well, follow Anderson Reed through. And it looks like Antoine's trying to do that as well. Of course, the 0, no sponsorship for this weekend for Gemini Racing. Next season, though, they will be renumbering the car to 68 and running under the name Nova Sport. Morris and Porta now working their way past Mathis Wells. It doesn't look like the 3 has caught up too much, or has been caught too much by the 55 and 20. Now it looks like Antoine's holding up Morris by a pretty big margin. There's Onjak back there. There's Cucalon still. Rest of the field, Friesen falling back to 14th. Butcher's also falling back. DeLello back to 20th. Eves is slowly gaining. Not out of the realm of possibility. He could sweep the weekend, but probably not going to. And one thing about Stephen Wallace Jr. finished Mountain Dew Custom Series race in the race victory lane. He finished 2nd in the truck race, so today should be a 3rd place finish for Stephen Wallace Jr. on the cards if he can recover. So that could be a good sign there. Eli Bright, heartbreaking to see, started this race top 10. He's fallen all the way to the 25th position. There is Reed working his way past Alex Fletcher in the 07. Morris in 2nd, now working his way past Aiden Smith. It's given him a bit of time over Porta. And there's Onjak and Jefferson, 2 of your championship contenders from last season. That was the duel down to Kansas between those 2. Onjak looking for a rebound this year, came out, won the regular season title, trying to get as many bonus points as he can so he can try to win this championship. His season has not been about dominance like Cucalon. Cucalon has 11 top 5s and only 11 top 10s. It's boom or bust for the 19 team. The 44 has been very consistent. Average finish almost 3 positions more than Cucalon. Cucalon has a 12.4. Onjak has a 9.9. though Colton Lane also in the 60, wherever Colton Lane is. Let's go see him. Lane also has some big consistency this season. That's why he has no wins, but was so high in the regular season standings. He was 4th in points entering the chase. So Lane up in 60. He's looking for a good finish as well, and all these guys looking to stay ahead of the 19. You see mostly, though, these guys are kind of staying single file. Just as we say that, Irving's going to get some pressure to the 19 of Cucalon and look for that 9th position. As you see Irving's teammate Cody Goforth starting to bring himself up, and there's Cucalon's teammate Austin Murray looking for another top 10 after he got a top 5 last week at Mosport in the Canadian Pacific Railway. Number 24, he gets that spot done and taken from Tib Foster. And now Cody, wow. Cody just charged it in on Tib, but it looks like Tib's going to lose 2 spots there. And Cody Goforth trying to make a move on Murray as Cucalon looks for a move on Bowers and is going to make some contact with him, roughing him up and out of the way. And that's going to cost Bowers some time, and Cucalon got real aggressive real quick with Carson. And I don't think Angiato is going to take too kindly to that as Irving really sends it in, really pressuring the 19 now. Could that have done some damage to that front wheel on the 19 as now he's looking for a move on Lane. So Cucalon, it looks like he's getting real aggressive now, real impatient being back here behind all these guys as Goforth and Foster going to clear that. Bowers looking to clear Irving, and Cucalon is going to tuck back in behind the 60 of Colton Lane. So as these leaders have gotten into lap traffic, there is Reed, and now he's fighting an SBR car. That's a Toyota Alliance with the guy behind him and Brandon Morris. You got William Duncan, who will be on BGM next season. Max Anderson also in front of him. So some fast guys now that they got to work their way through. And now Morris is right on the back of the 3 as Reed's going to jump himself back to the inside of Benyako, try to clear him. Also, that's 3 PA boys right here in Reed, Morris, and Benyako. But here comes Morris right all over the back of that 3. 40 laps in. Now we are 1/3 of the way through this race next time by, and now it's starting to heat up with all this lap traffic ahead, and that's a big thing about Richmond. We've seen some green flag racing before, and it starts causing some lap traffic as now the 55 is going to look to the outside. Porta's back up in here, so you got 2 Monster Motorsports versus a BGM 55. They're all racing for this top spot as Peter Onjak is starting to bring himself up in here. Jefferson's been having some problems with the lap traffic, and if you remember last season, do not be a lap car in front of Jay Jefferson. I wouldn't be doing that if I were these guys. Now Cucalon, they're starting to get to Antoine, so Lane might have a problem because Cucalon is a teammate to Antoine Smith in the through the Truck Series, with Antoine being contracted to SBR. Goforth is cleared now, Irving, Allison, and Bowers, so that charge to the front still is going on. Eli Bright has still dropped to the back, and all the way back, we cycle right back to the race leader, and Anderson Reed, the GameStop Chevrolet, continuing to lead this race. Fuel window's about 50 laps, so we should be seeing some green flag pit stops here soon. Hopefully, we stay green for that. Porta now to the inside of Duncan. That's going to be getting himself a clear shot, if he can, at Reed and Morris, as Max Anderson, Kyle Corbett go at it in front of him. Now Colton Yo and Kyle Corbett going at it. Reed up the track. He's going to look for it, but here comes the 55 down to the bottom. And that is for the race lead there. The lap traffic playing games. And we're side by side for the top spot as Onjak has caught up to Matty Porta back there. And it looks like the 55 Morris, he doesn't really have nowhere to go in front of him. Onjak looking to the outside of Porta. And the 55 is going to clear for that top spot. Reed back to second, Porta third, and Onjak fourth. 4 chase contenders under a blanket up here as now Porta goes up. That's going to bring the 44 Onjak down to the inside as he looks for it. Morris getting by Max Anderson up there. And here comes Onjak back to the bottom of Porta. Now Reed looking like real tight. Or got real tight or real loose, something squirrely coming through turn 1 and 2. Walked him up the track a little bit. Now Onjak right up to the back of Reed. I think probably hearing that Cucalon just turned Bowers pretty much for a spot. I think Onjak's going to do that to Reed here in a second. Now they're working their way past Max Anderson. And Porta, I think, is going to get a nose down to the inside of Peter. Peter tries to throw the block. Porta gets a nose back to the bottom as the 55 starts pulling away up there. Reed having a hard time with Max Anderson back there. Porta and Onjak, though, battling. And these top 4 are 4.5 seconds over Jay Jefferson, who's finally cleared himself of some lap traffic. There's Cucalon now. He's starting his charge up as Lane. Holy crap, Lane. What happened? He's back to 11th. Irving and Foster up here. So here comes Goforth. This might be your biggest threat for the race win right there in that 17. Cucalon's going to be strong now. He's coming to life here in that 19. He's caught up to Jefferson with all the lap traffic. He's starting to move and make some laps. But Cody Goforth has been moving this whole race. Now he has gained 21 spots since the drop of the green flag just 48 laps ago, as Foster's working his way back there as well. There's Onjak clear. Now he's looking for second on Reed, as Max Anderson does not want to let Anderson Reed by at all. There's both RER cars now with the 69 of Downey and the 12 of Max Anderson. They're nose to tail. Morris now working his way past Kyle Corbett back there. If he could try to take that spot. Caution is out on the racetrack. We got a yellow, and it's down in turn number 4. And it looks like Jacob Edson goes around in the 82. He's a lapper, so that is big for that. And Morris will clear these guys. Onjak is going to come home second. And remember, the lappers will be out of the way when you go back racing. So those guys, Morris does not have that gap. But 50 laps in, we have our first caution of the day as we line up to take these first round of pit stops here at Richmond. And this could mean we might still see one more pit stop after this round, but I am sure that everyone on the lead lap and then all the lappers should be coming in this time. It's been 50 laps of green flag action, some entertaining racing, and these guys should all bring it on in right now, as Morris will be the first one in that 55. He has a big gap because of those lappers behind him. The rest of the field trying to form their way around. You see all the lappers, they're going to stay out. They pit on the next lap, but everyone's going to come on in. It's going to be a 4-tire and fuel call. If you do fuel only or 2 tires or whatever, you're going to be so far behind. Here comes the rest of the field cycling on in at the back there. And we'll see. But for Carson Bowers especially, he's probably going to have to repair some of the damage to that 25 car. You also got all the front guys here. Look at all the Chase contenders. You'll see their pit stops go together as they go down this front straightaway here, this front straightaway pit box. We'll see. It's 4 tires and fuel, so we'll see who gets out first. There is Friesen just getting in. Morris is just coming out, and he will be the first one out. So Morris leads him off. Anderson Reed second still. Porta third. Onjak fourth. Cucalon jumps Jay Jefferson. Jefferson a slower stop, puts him back to 6th. The rest of the field cycles on out. Bowers did not repair that car, so they must think it's good. Cody Goforth still in the top 10. Jacob Edson goes around for the first caution. We'll go ahead and get a quick replay, bring you guys back to the action at the PayPal 400. Cody Goforth's been passing guys left and right all day, gets impatient with Edson trying to cut him off, gets right into him, and the 82 goes up into the wall, spins sideways, a simple spin though, under caution for the first time today here at Richmond. Back live here at the PayPal 400 at the Richmond Raceway. Morris leads over Anderson Reed, Matty Porta, Peter Onjak, Sebastian Cucalon, Jay Jefferson, Irving Allison, Colton Lane, Carson Bowers, and Cody Goforth, your top 10. Bowers is the only non-chase contender inside the top 10. DeLello 12th, Friesen 14th, Foster back to 17th. And that's all your chase contenders. Meanwhile, the 61 of Kyle Corbett just was lapped as soon as the caution came out. When they were racing back to the line, he gets the Fago free pass. Morris, Reed, Porta, Onjak, Cucalon, your top 5. Green flags back in the air. And we're racing once again at Richmond. And Reed was not going to wait. He's going for it already. So is Onjak. Reed wants that race lead. Onjak just wants to get some spots between him and the 19 as Porta and Morris both to the outside. There is Onjak on the inside. Now we'll see. Maybe he will go for the race lead as he looks to the inside of Anderson Reed. That's not what Cucalon wants to see, but Cucalon don't care. He's jumping that 19 up. Onjak is going to take the lead in the goof-off 44. Here comes Cucalon and Jefferson. Some big threats to win this race as well. Irving Allison trying to get a move on is the 55, first to 5th on the opening lap, as he's fighting Jefferson for that 4th spot. Cucalon now trying to get by the 3 of Anderson Reed. That is right now. Oh, spin on the front straightaway. Ton of cars around. Couple cars down pit road. We're under caution for the 2nd time today. Yepes involved. Many cars involved. We're under caution once again. 2nd caution of the day here at Richmond. And they just went racing. Stephen Wallace Jr. is out of this one now, so that 65 wasn't going to be winning anything, I guess. Max Anderson, Jacob Edson were down pit road in the 82 and 12. We'll see if anyone does come down pit road. I do not expect anyone to. We just went back racing. Though, you know, topping off on fuel could be a factor here. Looks like Roger Ray's going to get the free pass in the 84, barring that he was not involved in the crash. I think Ray and Bright fell down a lap being slow on pit road. I didn't think they were a lap down already, but we'll see. Yepes involved, a couple others involved. Second caution of the day. Let's get a quick replay. First incident of the day, they're 3 wide down the back. Austin Johnson on the inside, Stephen Wallace Jr., Yepes. Johnson clears, but Eve sends it up. You see the 35 jump to the inside. They're 4 wide. That spins Yepes around, and Stephen Wallace Jr. backs it into the wall very hard. Hit by Yepes again, and that's what blows up that engine. So, heartbreaking for both of these guys. Having decent days, falling back and out of this race. Under caution for the second time today at Richmond. Back live here at Richmond. Gatlin Downey going slow. They're delaying the restart for that. Anderson Reed also had a flat tire going down. The 69 currently has one going down, but with him driving about 14 miles an hour, they are deciding against throwing the green this time, so we will have a longer caution period. See if he can get back to the pit road by then. Peter Onjak leads over Cucalon, Jefferson, Irving, Allison, Morris, Lane, Porta, Goforth, Murray, and DeLello, your top 10. Friesen 13th, Foster 14th. Rest of the field driving on around back here as the field lines back up. All the lappers line back up, and Gatlin Downey is going to get that 69 down pit road, so he should be good in the snap-on forward for RER. So we are going back racing this time. Onjak, Cucalon, Jefferson, that is a big 3 in the championship fight. Jefferson not yet, but with a good run today, he could get up there. We're going back racing now here on lap number 65 of 120 laps. Onjak, Cucalon, Jefferson, Irving, Allison, and Morris, your top 5. Green flags back in the air, and we're back racing at Richmond. Onjak got off to a jump, but Jefferson jumps Cucalon for that second spot. Irving Allison trying to get a nose under there. Lane's underneath Morris as they come down. Hagen sideways at the back there as they come down. One car round at the back. Austin Johnson sliding sideways there in the 51. He should be good as they come off the corner. Down the front straightaway now, Jefferson looking back for the lead. Looking to the inside of Onjak here. Side by side for the top spot as they come off. Caution is back out. There's smoke down here. That was Austin Johnson. He kept it clean, so I don't know if Johnson called the caution or not. These guys are still racing back. Jacob Edson blowing up on pit road in the 82 as Onjak's going to lead these guys back around. And Edson is blowing. Oh, Max Anderson. Oh, my goodness. The 82 and 12 are torn up severely. Oh, no. Heavy hit to both of them. Looks like Edson's day will be done. I don't see him on pit road. Neither do I see the 12 now, so looks like both of those guys are out. And here we go. 68 to 120. There's going to be about 52 to go. Onjak's bringing it on in. And Jefferson is not. Jefferson going to stay out in the 48, looking to get the race lead. I don't know if I would have called for that, Jay. As the field's bringing it down pit road. See Bright, he's going to get the Fago free pass. Banyako there, the rest of them. So here we go. And here's pit stops again. We'll go to Cucalon because he can show kind of most of the front group. As they all come down pit road and into their boxes. A lot of chase contenders down pit road. Jefferson stays out. Everyone else was lap traffic, it appears. So Jefferson is gambling that he will have enough fuel to make it to the end of this one. There's Reed now just coming in. Cucalon's coming back out. Looks like a slow stop on the 44. Cucalon jumps Morris. Lane's going to jump Morris. Goforth might have gotten him as the field comes out. And as they all come off pit road, Onjak and Bowers and Friesen all losing a ton of time. There's Reed. He's going to gain a couple more spots. There's Onjak. This race has gone topsy-turvy. Jay Jefferson stays out. He will be the only one out after this caution. Big incident down here in turn 3. You see Johnson, Neal, Butcher, they got together first. We saw that kinda. But Max Anderson, he's just going to come down, and I don't know what he and Edson were thinking. And you can't really see it on that angle, but the 12 gets up and over after hitting the tire barriers, or the pit barrels, on the pit wall. And that is a hard hit for him. He got out under his own power. He is okay, but I don't know what these two were thinking. Right into the pit wall, and boom. Right there, both of them are destroyed. Both out of this race. Third caution of the day here at Richmond. Calamity starting to ensue here at Richmond. Still only 38 to go this time. Jay Jefferson leads the race, the only driver who did not come down for 4 tires and fuel last time. Cucalon is second, Lane third, Morris fourth, Goforth fifth, DeLillo sixth, Hagan seventh, Irving Allison eighth, Murray ninth, Evan Hunter up to 10th, Foster, Porta, Strigley, Butcher. There's Colton Yo 15th, Austin Johnson, Matthew Eves, Jeff Alloway, Diego Yepes, Anderson Reed in 20th. Neal 21st. Onjak falls to 22nd with that. Hopefully no more pit stops for him, and he could pick up some spots. Corbett 23rd. Spurley Tube 24th. Bowers 25th. Ray 26th. Carter Friesen back to 27th. Free pass went to Eli Bright in the 8th. He moves back into 28th and on the lead lap. Bunch of cars out of this one now. You got 5. Max Anderson, Jacob Edson from the most recent crash. Stephen Wallace Jr. from a prior caution. The 99 and 5 both had some engine issues in the valve and camshaft for those two. They are both out at the end. Bunch of cars a lap down. 28 on the lead lap. Jefferson in a shot to win this, but does he have enough fuel? Everyone else should. Jefferson will be in iffy. Cucalon, Lane, Morris, Goforth, your top 5. Will anyone stop Cucalon if he can get by Jefferson? Coming around to the front straightaway. Green flag back in the air. We're racing again at the PayPal 400. Back of the pack there. They all stay clean. There's Lane. Got by Cucalon. Lane wants to get that spot away. He's still in the championship fight with no wins this season. Morris there as well. Got real close. Shoves Lane up the track into Cucalon, who shoved Bowers up the track like that as Goforth sends it 3 wide. Now Goforth sending it up the middle of the 55 and 60. He is on a mission right now with his teammate and Lane in tow. 3 wide for the second spot. Morris is going to get by and clear. Goforth back into third, and Cucalon falls to 5th from that as they come down this back straightaway. The whole field, we are still green, which is good, but Jefferson now, what he wanted to see, he's pulling away in that 48. The King of Richmond back on top as Goforth's going after Morris for second. Cucalon, don't count him out in 4th. He still has a shot at this. Colton Lane back there in 5th as Cucalon's going to get real close to Morris side by side for that spot. Look at Larry Hagan and Evan Hunter inside the top 8 as they're trying to get up here, possibly a top 5 or a race win if they can sneak it. Colton Lane in the 60 showing the consistency that Monster Motorsports team has had with him this season. He remains in the 5th spot. Evan Hunter going after DeLillo for that 7th position as they go at it there. Foster and Irving back there as well. Irving and Porta do not need to lose much time to this points leader in Cucalon, and they have both fallen outside of the top 10 now. And as I said, here's Joseph Strigley putting that 63 up into the top 15. Colton Yo as well bringing the 35 up. As there you see Onjak held up by Dusty Neal as Eves jumps to the inside. So this 44 is struggling in the traffic at the back. He has only made his way up. He's actually lost spots back to 22nd and now 23rd as Ray jumps to the inside of him. Yepes, Bowers, both with damage. Irving now making a move on DeLillo as Evan Hunter is charging now with Tip Foster in tow. Both of these guys making their way towards the top 5 as Cucalon's going after Lane for 4th as these two have been fighting for the last few laps. Cucalon's going to try to take that spot back as Cody Goforth now has cleared Morris and is trying to reel in Jay Jefferson. Around 40 laps to go. Next time by, we come to lap 80. At the completion of lap 80, there's 40 to go. There you see Evan Hunter now with Foster, Irving, Allison behind him. He might want to move over for Tib. Tib needs points, and that's what he is doing right now. All the way back here, we're looking back. There is Onjak. He's now gotten around Neal, Bowers, bunch of guys. You see Reed back here and Friesen as well. They've been top 10. They are now chase contenders that have to drive their way back up through this field. Onjak in the 44 now is going to have to make a move on Eves. And remember, Eves and him had some disagreements in the truck race with a very close battle for the top spot, or for a spot on the racetrack. And remember, Eves isn't in the championship fight here, but he is in the trucks, and vice versa for Onjak. So those two need to be respectful of each other because both of them could be running for titles this season. Foster gotten clear. Evan Hunter, Colton Lane not letting Cucalon jump away too quickly, as Goforth has now caught Jay Jefferson. He's in that draft, and the draft isn't too big at short tracks, but down that back straightaway it sure is. And through these corners, especially with at least a couple laps older tires, Jay only had, I believe, 2 green flag laps on his in comparison, but fresh rubber never hurts. And Jay right now in that 48 is trying everything he can, hoping that the fuel lasts, but over 40 laps here. These guys were, the first caution came out about lap 50, and that's when they started pitting. No one was green flag pitting at that time, so you can make it at least 50 laps. Jay would have to stretch it about 60 in that 48 car, though. Rest of the way through. TSR, though, having a great day. You see Hagen's up here and Butcher's up here. Bright's struggling at the back, but that's just how the cookie crumbled today. Onjak has the speed, and he's chipping cars off left and right, now breaking himself into the top 15. Friesen struggling a bit further back. You also got Duncan in there. Also, Lapper William Duncan trying to get that free pass if it so indeed goes his way. Gatlin Downey is a lap down, so the next one in line is Alex Bignacco. Way back there is the rest of the field fights. There's Eli Bright. Oh, Jefferson is absolutely shot away from Goforth. Goforth must have made a mistake or something, and he's running wide again, so Morris is all over the back of him. BGM boys fighting for that second spot as Jefferson has checked out in the race lead here at Richmond, and down to the inside goes Morris in that 55, and he's going to try to take that second spot away, and will. You see Cucalon still back there in 4th, but he's losing time to his nearest rival in that 55, so that is now... I think 4-point swing between them. That puts him now 11 points up on the 55 as they run, though he'll be 13 up on Morris if Goforth passes him back. And that 19, with those two fighting, that could always bring the 19 back into the fight. Give him a shot at a race victory here. Ryan Butcher, 11th. There you see Onjak still working his way through, now to the inside of Austin Murray. Him and Anderson Reed have been quickly making short work of these guys once they started stringing out. So I think Onjak's still on the cards for a top 10, but he had a shot at the race win, and he led into pit road before his pit crew failed him absolutely. There is Friesen, only 19th for that guy. Bunch of damaged cars near the back. As long as we stay clean and green, we should have a good finish to this race as Morris and Goforth continue to fight, and that is bringing the 19 into this. Goforth knows he has a car that can catch Jefferson. He's been fast all day. He's come from 28th on the freaking grid, and he's 3rd here in the closing laps. So he knows he has a car to beat, but he knows the 55. His teammates won on short tracks this season many a times and has been competitive at all of them. So those two now nose to tail down the front straightaway. Might be using a little bit of the draft down there. Just trying to pick up any time they can on Jay Jefferson, who currently sits just a second up the road, but who is not a second down the road anymore, is Cucalon, who on these long runs, that 19 car starts coming into its own, and you see him already on Goforth trying to catch up to him. Cucalon wants to lock up a championship this season, and realistically, the MDCS title is all but locked up for Adam Mitchell. He just needs to play it safe through Talladega, and he's easily home free for Shade Burkhart Racing. Cucalon, with Onjak having a bit of an issue there, he's only 13th. He's going to lose. Onjak's going to lose probably about 10 or 15 points on Cucalon. He's only losing a handful of spots to the 55, and Morris has been really streaky, this year. Not as strong consistently as the 19, even though they have the same amount of wins. So there's a chance Cucalon locks up this cup title, and then in the truck series, the boss of Shade Burkhart Racing, Matthew Eves, is leading and dominating the chase down there. So there's an easy possibility that Shade gets to celebrate in 3 victory lanes at the end of the season, 2 as an owner and 1 as a driver. Of course, he's not going to in the Cup Series. He's running 18th now, and he's seated 24th in the Cup Series standings for CFRO. But now, Morris is reeling in that 48, and these two have had a lot of history on the track and off the track. Richmond is Jay Jefferson's playground, but Morris has been the king of this season on the short tracks, and he is right on the back of Jefferson here, coming around 26 to go next time by. Still a long way, and still don't know if Jefferson's going to have enough to make it to the end. And Morris is all over the back of that 48. The tires can't be the deciding factor here, but you got to think maybe Jay's trying to save some fuel, because you know you have to. You don't have to save as much as if this is like Auto Club or something, but he does need to save fuel, and he's really backed off, lost a ton of time to the guys behind him, and Morris is all over the back of him, looking for any way past that he can. And there goes Jay onto pit road now. That is concerning. He came in, well, I guess he would have came in around lap 55, so that's maybe 50 laps, but that makes a concern for these guys, because Jay was only on pit road the last time about 10 laps before these guys at most, and we got 25 to go, 24 to go this time, as Morris is checked out into the race lead. So there is a possibility that none of these guys are safe on fuel when I thought they would be. Maybe I was counting the laps wrong, and we are over 50. As you see Foster and Irving fighting back there, that's for that 5th position. So a green flag pit stops for Jay is going to probably trap him 2 laps down, maybe just 1 down. We'll see where he is in terms of his pit crew right now. Where is he on track in the 448? I can't even find him. Let me go take a gander for him real quick, because I did not see him on pit. Oh, he's already back out in the 48. He must have. There's no way he took anything other than fuel then, because he is out rapidly in that 48 car. Holy crap! He's just ahead of these guys. So there's the gap. If he took 4 tires, then maybe he's off to the races. But we will see in that 48 car. Mathis Wells going real wide back there. We'll see what this means for the 48, and we'll check post-race to see if he did go for 4 tires or no tires. But now what you're seeing, 20 laps to go this time by Goforth, reeling in the 55 as Cucalon's falling away a little bit. But lap traffic up here, we saw this was how it started in that opening stint. And once they got to lap traffic, the top 4 kind of combined together. Cucalon, though, is about 3 seconds ahead of Lane himself for 3rd, and Lane's 5 seconds back from the leader as Mathis Wells is going to go another lap down. So there's a possibility Cucalon's not out of this. There's Lane, Irving, Foster, DeLello, so top 7 are chase contenders, and there is Onjak in that 44, pushing it for all he's got. He's up to the 10th position, now trying to work his way past Evan Hunter. Teammate Evan Hunter there in the 04. Evan's going to give him the inside line. So that's Onjak back up to 9th. So he's still on the charge. A great recovery drive by the 44. He's losing each position he gains. He loses less and less to Cucalon and Morris. There's Reed fighting Porta for 12th. There's Friesen. The rest of the field on through there as Jay's still picking up through lap traffic. He's going to be faster than these guys anyway, even if he wasn't on fresh tires. But we'll have to see what he's doing at 21.7, 22.1. So I think with Jay being 4/10 faster than those guys, though they were in lap traffic. Yeah, even Cucalon, 22.1. So Jay had to have taken tires. He has so much more pace than those guys, even while following and fighting through lap traffic. He was running faster than them when he got in clean air, and Cucalon was in clean air this whole time. So Jay had to take 4 tires. I assume so because you probably can take a 4-tire stop from the lead, only come out 1 lap down at the very tail end. So he's working, and Aiden Smith is about to work Eli Bright straight into the wall back there. Jay's not going to get a free pass no matter how hard he... well, actually, he could, because there's Benyako right in front there in the 83. So Jay could easily get... oh, well, the 61 just went a... never mind. Yeah. So the 61 just went a lap down, so Jay cannot get the free pass anymore. So he's basically hoping that these guys up front run out of fuel, which could happen or could not happen. Down the front straightaway, though, 55 and 17 have broken away from Cucalon, who is struggling with lap traffic at the back. And this is going to be a BGM battle for the race win at the short tracks. They've been the kings of the short tracks this season. Irving sitting just inside that 5th spot. Goforth, 28th to 1st. He's trying to match, except for 1 position, on what Matthew Eves did. Eves definitely more impressive, going 29th to 1st in 75 laps. Goforth, it's taken him 107 to get to 2nd, though he was in the lead for a time today, and he's going to take the lead back right to the inside of Morris. This is a 3-point swing between the 55 and 17. Goforth is back in 7th in points, 39 back from Cucalon. Morris can taste the points lead in a race or two if he can continue a good run here, as he's now trying to work his way past Aiden Smith as Goforth jumps to the inside of Morris, but Morris sends it on the outside. Aiden slows down on the bottom, and that is a move of the race right there, possibly, for the 55. He used that outside line. He's going to take the spot away from Aiden Smith. Eli Bright, Alex Benyako back there now. Goforth is long gone from the 55. Cucalon still has 2 lappers to go through. Now we're looking back. Lane is 4th, Irving Allison 5th. Onjak was 10th to 6th in that little time. He is pushing that 44 for all he's got on a fantastic recovery drive by Peter Onjak and this 44 crew. You got the field back there. Ooh, they look slow. No, they're just running their line because there's no lights on anywhere. There's C. Jefferson. He's now made it to 28. That's the highest he can probably get. Strigley is a lap down. Strigley's on pit road. Oh, there's a tire going down on the 17 and an engine failure on the 63. So Goforth now, he's got reports of a vibration or a tire going down in that 17. It just has to hold up for 10 more laps as he is reeling in this 55. And we'll see if that affects Goforth at all in this event. Cucalon long gone back to 3rd. Strigley's engine expired. It's not a scheduled pit stop for him. Here comes the 55 now, working his way past Alex Benyako. 9 to go at Richmond with the 55 out in front, trying to take his 5th win of the season, tying Jay Jefferson and Colton Lane for most wins in a race season. Lane, though, has the biggest win percentage of a race season with his MDCS wins, 5 in 14 races. Morris looking to go 5 for 20, just like Jay Jefferson did last season en route to a championship. We still have 6 races to go after this, but still, that can't be denied. If Morris wins this race, he's at the same win percentage that Jay Jefferson was last season at this same point. But he's real slow coming off the corner. Horrible exit for him. Goforth's going to jump that 17 back to the bottom. 7 to go still. A long way to go. Goforth sends it in. Morris can work the outside, though. He's trying to. Goforth is going to push it up into him. Contact there for the race lead down the back straightaway. Not giving each other an inch up front as Cody Goforth is looking for his 3rd win on the year. Morris looking for his 5th. And Goforth's going to clear the 55 for that spot. Downey up the track in the back. Give the race lead to Cody Goforth. A tire going down on the 17. He doesn't care. It's win or bust for him at this point. And he is fighting the 55 for all he's got. Now there's Colton Yo right in front of him in the 35. Goforth's going to try to get to the bottom. Can't get there, though, but is going to use the bumper. Move that 35 out of the way. And Cody Goforth started this race 28th, and with 5 to go, he leads by a decent margin over the 55, all things considered, in that car, as he is now all over the back of him. 22 cars left on the lead lap. Gatlin Downey's car is not handling well. Hopefully he doesn't hit the wall. There's Cucalon clear. Irving Allison, Colton Lane fighting for the 4th spot with lap traffic as here comes the 44. There's a spin in turn 4. Did that bring out a caution? The yellow is out. No, it is. Yes, it is. Yellow flag is out. No green-white checkers left in the NSDCA, so they will have to possibly do a very quick yellow, but they can't get all these lappers around in time. There's no way, being honest, there's no way we can in 4 laps at Richmond. I think this is going to end the race right here under caution, and it's going to be Cody Goforth taking the victory. There's Cucalon. They're all trying to form themselves back into line. They're not coming to pit road. That'd be pretty stupid. Onjak probably would have had 4th in this race and would have been right behind Cucalon. Alas, that's not going to happen, but he still comes up 6th after restarting about like 22nd. Reed, 11th. Jay Jefferson. It was a valiant effort, but they pit. I don't know if they pit too early or what. He ends up 27th, the last car 1 lap down. And we're not going to be able to get this race green with lap traffic in the way because the NSDCA has said they will remove the lap traffic. Besides, nothing would really change with all the lappers that are in the front here. It just costs guys in the back. So they will end this race under caution. We'll bring you back to it after we get a quick replay, see what happened, to bring out the final caution of the day. Jay Jefferson, frustrated with how his day's going, is going to get up to Ryan Butcher and just throws it straight into him, spins the 88 into the wall. That's his own driver. As the 88 goes around, rear end damage to Butcher. That's going to end the day here at Richmond. Down the back straightaway and into turn 4. Coming to the white flag here that we will be taking under the yellow. Cody Goforth, still a tire's going down on that 17. He's not safe yet. He still has to make sure it comes around on him. and finishes the race. Morris will end up second. Sebastian Cucalon, a great day for third. Colton Lane fourth. Irving Allison fifth. Onjak, a fantastic recovery drive through the field to sixth. Tip Foster is going to be seventh. Zachary DeLillo eighth. Larry Hagan ninth. And there is a coolant link on the three. Evan Hunter's 10th, sorry. But there is a coolant link on the three. So they can't go back green anyway, but they got to make sure that three does not sputter out on this final lap. Bowers comes home 12th, Porta 13th, Friesen 14th, Roger Ray 15th, Austin Murray 16th, Neal 17th, Alloway, Eves, Austin Johnson, Spurley 2, Butcher. Your top 22 still on track. Jay Jefferson, furthest back of the Chase contenders, will end this race 27th. His worst finish by far at Richmond. That is heartbreaking to see for him. But coming through the corner, the championship fight is still alive, and it's still all Toyota. Cody Goforth coming out of the corner. His third win on the year. BGM's 8th win of the season as one car is down pit road. That's Gatlin Downey. Cody Goforth is going to win at Richmond. Downey pitting's not going to be too big of a factor. There's a fuel leak on the 69. He's going to end the day with that, but he was 3 laps down anyway, the last car. Only car with him. Cody Goforth, 28th to 1st. So what a day for starting in the back at Richmond this weekend. 29th and 28th were where the finishers started, or yeah, where the winners started. Rest of the field shooting on by. Porter, where are you going? But that will be the end of the race. As Porter's looking to take a fun time down pit road there. But Toyota, the NSDCA has been Toyota dominant in the Cup Series. Cucalon 4 wins, Morris 4 wins. You got Goforth now with 3. That's 11 between those guys. Add Irving Allison with 12. 12 wins, and that's 12 of 20 races. 60% of the races this season have been won by Toyotas. And Cody Goforth continues that. This keeps Morris close in the standings. Onjak and Lane are still hot on Cucalon's heels. One slip up by the 19 will give them a chance again. Good recovery by Onjak. His pit crew failed him, but he was able to recover up to 6th. Colton Lane is top 10 all day. Foster stays up front. Friesen's going to lose a bit of time. Goforth gains just a little bit in that 39. From 39 points back, I should say. Reed's going to lose more. Jefferson, I think that's going to put the nail in the coffin for the 48 car already in the chase. Zachary DeLillo, he's still the major underdog. I don't think he'd get up there. Porta's going to be even more of a race behind. Irving Allison, probably a race behind. So I'd say Jefferson, Allison, Porta, DeLillo, and possibly Anderson Reed are all, and Carter Friesen. Those 6 right there are going to have to recover big time to continue and fight for this championship this year. But I don't think anyone's stopping Toyota. It's a matter of if it's going to be the 19, 17, or 55 taking home this title. An entertaining race here at Richmond. We'll go ahead and see you guys next time. Memphis week next week. We go back to another short track. Should be exciting. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you guys next time on the NSDCA.